One thing I wanted to share with you guys. So we're working on the walker right here, and the blower fan is stuck again. But I wanted to kind of have a little heart-to-heart with you guys. So it's 10 o'clock at night. I'll probably work out here for another hour or two. We're getting started at 6:30 tomorrow, and we have a long day tomorrow. We have a lot of stuff to do. And one thing I wanted to share with you is a story about last year. And you know, I've kind of talked about my struggles, and I've kind of talked about all that kind of stuff that went on last year. One thing I haven't mentioned is how frustrating it is as a business owner when you're the one putting in all the long hours. You're the one in the shop 10 o'clock at night working on mowers. You're the one staying late doing all the billing, invoicing, getting back to customers, doing estimates, all that kind of stuff. You're the one doing all that. So it's really frustrating when your guys, when your employees are taking home $600, $700, $800 a week, maybe even $1,000 a week. I don't know. And you're not seeing a whole lot of money come back to yourself. In my experience, boss man's usually the last one to get paid, and if there's not enough money to go around, who gets shorted? Who gets shorted? And the reason why I bring it up is that was probably the most frustrating thing that happened to me last year, was the fact that, you know, these guys go home, they got their money, they're good. But when your business isn't ran right and you don't know your numbers, boss doesn't get paid. So when boss doesn't get paid, things get a little irritated and angry. And I bring that up because, you know, because I am here. I'm late in the shop right now. You know, my wife, my 3 kids are right inside that door, and they're probably all sleeping good. And I want them to. As a dad and a husband, I want them in there. I want them sleeping. I want them feeling safe. And I don't want my family waking up tired. I'll be tired all day long. I don't want my family being tired. That's just the man in me, I guess. So anyway, my point is that about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I'm watching YouTube, and Johnny Moe kind of hit the scene. And this is a guy that I probably respect the most out of the lawn care community as far as just lawn care knowledge. I don't agree with everything Johnny Moe says. Johnny Moe hates walkers. He really does. It's like the worst machine to him. They're slow, they don't cut good, all that type of stuff. I love walkers. So my point is that I don't agree with Johnny on some stuff. But there's one thing that Johnny pointed out to me 4 years ago that I had no idea. And when he brought it up, it made total sense to me, but I just didn't think it applied to me. And it's something simple, just about knowing your numbers. So knowing what it costs to run your business. So knowing every single hour how much it costs to run your business, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, year by year. So when you don't know that, usually the boss man gets shorted because there's just not enough money to go around. Now you have to pay your guys. If you want them to show up tomorrow, you better pay them. And you got to pay all your expenses as far as fuel and all that stuff. If not, work doesn't get done. So when you don't know your numbers, like I said, boss man, owner is the last man to get paid. I say boss man because Justin calls me boss man. It's starting to kind of grow on me. But back to my point, this year has been the best year of my career by far. Okay, this is my 6th year in business. It's taken me 6 years to figure this out. And like I said, when I first heard it from Johnny, it was like the choir going off. It made 100% sense to me. But at the same time, I felt, I'm doing fine. I don't need to know where every penny's going. Come on. Who's got time for all that? I don't need to know. And this year, I've done that. Probably not total 100%, but I've done it 95% better than I have in the past. Okay, there's still a few things I need to work on. But this year, Justin goes home and he gets paid a good wage. He's got money for his family. And you know what? I got money for my family too. Because I know what it costs to run my business. I know what I'm making. I know what's going out. I know what's coming in. And if you don't know that, you're kind of gambling. Some months you'll do well. Some months you won't. Things happen. Mowers break. Trucks break. All that kind of stuff. And I just want to point that out and kind of reiterate it with Johnny about knowing your numbers. And like I said, I didn't think it applied to me. I thought I was doing good. I thought I was fine. And I'm definitely not the smartest guy in business. I'm definitely not the smartest guy on YouTube. I'm not the smartest guy, probably not on my block. But that's one thing I figured out. That's one thing I have figured out is knowing your numbers is key in any business, especially our business. Knowing your numbers is key. And when I say knowing your numbers, I'm talking about every single thing. So knowing what it costs to run your business, period. If you don't know what it costs to run your business, how are you pricing effectively? So there's a guy by the name of John Paycheck. I butcher his last name all the time. Another smart guy that is really good with this type of stuff. And I had about a 2-hour phone call with him earlier this year before the season started. 2 hours he spent on the phone with me explaining to me how to figure out my numbers. And it's just not that hard. It's really not. It's not brain surgery. Anybody can do it. I just needed a little bit of guidance. I didn't know where to start. And we broke it down to every single thing in my business. Every single thing. Any payment, any, truck tires, a new mower in the next 3 years. We got that figured in. We figured it in. So if I plan on buying a mower in 3 years, then I'm going to figure that into my cost a little bit. So that way, in 3 years, when I need to buy a mower, I'm not just all surprised. I got money saved back for that. Right? I mean, it only makes sense. If you've been in business more than a year, you can go back and look at those numbers. You can go back and see on average how much money you spend on gas every week and just average it out. And if you think you're going to be doing more business this year, tack a little bit more on. But I encourage everybody, if you haven't done it, and probably most of you guys have. I'm a late bloomer. I don't know what to say. I'm a late bloomer. I'm kind of late to the party a lot. But I'm just fortunate enough that I figured it out. And with the help of a lot of guys in this community, I figured it out. Johnny Moe being number one. John for sitting on the phone with me for 2 hours and explaining it to me like I was a second grader. To those guys, much respect. And a lot of other guys I've listened to and I've talked to. So while I'm here late at night working on a mower, I'll probably get 5 hours of sleep. And I'll go out tomorrow and it's going to be 100 degrees. And I'm going to be dying by 10 o'clock. I know I'm going to get paid. So I'm okay with it. But that sucks. That sucks when you're struggling. That's what sucks. But you know what? I give myself a little bit of credit because I stuck through it. I stuck through it. I hung in there. And by God, we're on the right track this year. So I encourage anybody, if you're struggling, figure out why you're struggling. I guarantee you there's a reason. And it's probably going to start with not knowing your numbers. But figure it out. Figure it out, keep going, and eventually you'll start seeing some daylight. Like right now, I'm seeing like half a moon. Okay? And that is shining so bright right now on me. I can see it. I see the light. Eventually I'm going to see the full moon, right? I'm going to see all the light. And I know that's kind of a crappy analogy, but that's all I came up with right then and there. But anyway, guys, like I said, I just want to encourage people to, just be the best you can be. I'm trying every single day to be better than I was the day before. I really am. Sometimes it doesn't work out. So what? You know what? I'm an entrepreneur. I love it. I love it. Wouldn't trade it for nothing.